This is my garden journal for September 5th here in Zone 5. Seems like everything is starting to wind down. But the things I'm going to change, I spend all year thinking about what things to change in the garden. But one of the most recent things I did was I found that mosquitoes are able to live in the bottom of the bird bath while you're changing the water. So if you just dump the water out and then put more back in, the mosquito larvae are just crawling on the bottom, and that ain't going to bother them a bit. So every time I dump the water out, I'll have to start scrubbing it out also to because we'd had a lot of mosquitoes in the yard and I couldn't figure out where they were coming from. And I didn't think our neighbors had the same problem because they would use their yards for barbecues and so forth. And another thing I did was I found some old parts. This is a bird bath that was meant to hang on a tree or from a tree, but the chain here that it hung on broke off. And this here is a bird bath where the top of it broke in half. I had a lot of problems with that because wild animals kept dumping it over every night and so forth. And but it's in there upside down, and this old bird bath is on top of it. And the water, when I turn the hose on, can run in there. And then you turn it off, it just drips. Even the water's off. I don't know if it's all the water siphoning from the upstairs or what, but yeah, it'll drip like that for a while now. So that makes it kind of dripping water. The thing to get rid of mosquitoes is the water has to always be moving. But I think I'm going to rely on dumping it every day and washing it up. Looks like that flower in there is going to be green. Isn't that something? This is, yeah, even look at that one. This hibiscus has never bloomed yet. So I'm wondering why these, but usually that's the flower, the color of the flower when it opens up like that. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. As far as this flower bed here, I'm going to change it over into annuals gradually. And I may leave some, but right now it's all perennials, and so there's great parts of the year when they're not blooming. And I might, right now I've been kind of having a living ground cover, but I think over the winter, and I intend to start doing this every year, but our local city landfill offers free wood chips. You just have to go out and get them. They chip and put them in a big huge pile, and so they're open until the 3rd November or the third Sunday in November. So all you gotta do is just go out and get them. And since our first frost is in the last part of October, then things will start dying then. So I could start covering everything with wood chips. So that's my intention, is to cover this whole area here with wood chips. And then just keep repeating that every year in the fall like that. And I've already started on a new perennial bed over to the side of the house. And I've ordered a bunch of tulips, and we can plant those together this fall. I'll wait till everything dies back. And I'm also removing part of this flower bed here. I'm going to take out, just move it all the way back to this bush. Because the taller stuff out here I'm not liking. So I'll probably cut this cherry bush down to a foot above the ground. There's other bushes in here, but they've been cut a foot above the ground too. And this bunny rabbit's ears, I'm going to move along the side. I think that would be a nice edging plant. Here is that bird bath that broke in half. And here's the other half over here. Tomorrow, one last thing here I want to move is this iris. I'll put it out back there. And then I'll just trim all this stuff off across there. This salvia that I just bought is doing really good. Look at that. And this is another salvia of a different color. And these phlox I got this year are doing good. And the peonies are coming out of here. I don't need to have tall things out there. This is a bush that I keep cutting it down every year. I can't remember the name now, but it makes berries for birds, which is why I planted it. And here it is, more of it over here. Here is a yellow twig dogwood that it would be really big if I hadn't been cutting it down every year. This is a big wild primrose, Missouri primrose. Yeah, I might get rid of the living ground cover and just keep the whole thing covered with bark chips, which I'm going to put down here in a few weeks. And this is a rose I have, Mr. Lincoln. It looks like it's got lots of blooms coming on. There's one. I'm going to move it right here. And I want to have this, I might move a lot of the stuff out here that gets to looking really ratty, like toward the end of the year. This is one that doesn't get, Lantana, that's the name. Couldn't think of it. It doesn't get to looking ratty. It's looking real nice. It was a really small plant when I planted it. And now it's growing across the whole flower bed. I wonder if those are seeds in there. Look at that. Huh. These look like they need water. These are moss roses. And those are all poppies back there. They die back to the ground after they bloom in June or so, or April, and April, May, June, I forget now. And then they die back to the ground, and then they come back like that for next year. This is another variety of Missouri primrose right here. I need to move it to some place where it can bloom more. I don't think because it likes full sun, I don't think it's getting that right here. So I'll probably move that over there. This is a dianthus. It needs to be in a different place, I think. This is a hosta. And this ground cover here, I was trying to think of the name. I always forget it. The blue flowers, it's all plumbago. And it was just a little plant I planted in there, and it's spread out all across here. I've got several different ground covers in here. This is Pachysandra. This is the wild one, Creeping Jenny. You don't have to buy that. And there's some American violets right here. And there's some lamium right there. So won't this area look better next year when it's all covered with wood chips. And we won't get this here, which seems to happen no matter how much I water. I think I'm going to take these begonias in the house for the winter. Maybe even this geranium. Geraniums are hardy perennials, but not in this zone 5. I don't know about begonias. That's a daylily. I'm getting rid of those out of here. I got too many of those. And the coral bells. I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet. Here's a hosta that's blooming. Here's a bunch of hostas that are blooming. They have that real sweet, perfumey smell too. And this is the only variety of hostas I know of that has sweetly scented flowers like this. I believe they're called Royal Standard. And the hummingbirds love them. There's a bee in there. Look at that. I better not put my nose in that one. Yeah, I guess it makes sense to check before you sniff a flower. You wouldn't have some bee come out and sting you. This is another rampant ground cover that you want to keep contained. It's probably safe over here. But it's called bishop's weed or gout weed. Oh, and won't this tree look a lot better with covered with wood chips? So I'm going to work really hard this fall, bringing them home. It's open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And up until the third weekend in third Sunday in November. And I've already brought a bunch of them home. My goal is before winter to have my whole garden covered with wood chips. And see, I've already brought a whole bunch of them home. I've cut down all the bushes that were growing here. I carried out that swing, and I'm right now covering it with wood chips. So every weekend I'm just going to keep bringing home another load and try and go all 3 days. I can't always go all 3 days because we have something going on. Oh, look at these morning glories. Morning glories only bloom in the morning. I planted these here 1 year, and they've been coming back every year. I pull them out of my garden over here, tons of them. But I think hummingbirds like them too. There's some up there. There's some up there. Here's the hollyhock I moved the other day. The center of it is doing just fine. The outer leaves didn't seem to make it. I'm trying to water that. I covered it in with grass clippings. And here's the tiger lily I moved down here. It might be doing okay. I planted these here last year and they came back, and I can't think of the name of this one. That's a columbine. I remember that one. And that's 4 o'clock. It self-seeds itself pretty good, and I have to figure out the name of this and I'll put it on the screen here. Need to find some time to come out here and pull the weeds. At the garden center where I was getting some plants, the lady there gave me this squash plant. I'll have to try squash. I've never tried it before. Oh, there's one in there getting really big. Look at that. I took one in the house so we could try it. And this is a pepper plant that she gave me, but I think they're really super hot, like Anaheim or something. This is a weed. Huh. Maybe not. Maybe it's not a weed. It has peppers on it. I dare not try them. They're probably way too hot. I got another pepper plant over there, and they're not too hot. I've been eating those pretty good. It's really good just to have peppers and rice. That's all. Well, I don't think I put the right combination of things in my bin here. I don't think it's doing anything. I'm going to take it out and fill it with wood chips and blood meal or something like that. Yeah, see, there's nothing going on. It's kind of dry too. I need to put some water in there. But I don't think there's anything going on in there. And tomorrow I'm going to come out and weed here and move some more plants. And I'll put that in a video. Here's these peppers that are really good. These I can eat. There's a ripe one down there. And we've been getting quite a few tomatoes out of here that are really good. There's probably a dozen in the refrigerator. I'm going to try and get something to pin down these sprinkler hoses, and just leave them there all the time. Well, that is the tour of my garden for this week. And my goal here out front, in that what's now a perennial bed, is to have something blooming at all time next year. And so I'm probably start putting a bunch of annuals in there. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and if you can, please subscribe to this channel, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye.